Today we'll see about case type or case management.
Okay.
So there is nothing much to say about case type. So case type simply we can say that it is a uh, life cycle of an entire application. So by saying its case life cycle, we can say that the what is the application from start to end. So what is the flow of that application. So like that, by saying the case type, we can examine that this is the application flow like that. So case type defines the work life cycle that divided into the stages, and each stage will have the process, and each process will have the steps. So let's suppose consider our application is a vehicle insurance application. So in a vehicle insurance application case life cycle, we have different stages. First one is collection of documents. Second one is reviewing the documents. Third one is processing the documents. Fourth one is claiming the insurance. So like that, we have different stages. In that stage, we have process. I mean, collection of documents. Agent will go to the customer, or customer will come to the agent. That is like one kind of process. Okay, like that. In case cycle, life cycle, we have stages, and process we have multiple steps. So what we can do is whatever the things up to we have done, we can convert those things into the case life cycle. Okay, so up to now we have created some flows and flow actions, right? So we can convert all these into the case type. So go to case type, click on add case type, and case type is a belongs to a class group. That means it needs to followed by the work class. Let's vehicle insurance.
So when you say followed by work class, you mean it should be a child class of the work class?
Hmm?
You mean it should be a child class of the work class, like
Yeah.
an inherited from the work? Okay.
So you can see derive from direct.
Ah, okay, followed. Okay.
Okay, next one, remote case. See.
Good morning, all.
Yeah, movement is.
Yeah.
Good morning.
So, am I audible?
The voice is breaking. Tejas.
Okay. So, Robin and Robinson, how the training is going?
So far good.
Good. Okay. So, this weekend, I will be connecting with you, both of you, okay, personally, regarding any feedback or suggestions. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Can contact
Oh,
anytime.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Manoj, please continue. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, I taking too much time. Yeah, it's created. If you go to the App Explorer, see one case type is created. Means hyphen vehicle insurance. And if we see the definition of this class, see it is a concrete class and belongs to the class group. Okay, and what is the class, that class group? Work class. And work class, this is the direct inheritance for this case type class. And if we see the text connection, for on which table it is map, work table. So case type class is nothing but like followed by the work classes, right? So belongs to a class group in the sense of it doesn't create any separate table for those, for these things. So it will, whatever the data that we entered in the case type class, also that data also will be going to stored in the work class only. Okay, that is the belongs to a class group. If is the class group, alternatively like, I don't see. Case type is like entire application case life cycle. Data type, data record. These are only for just preparing the data. Okay, so there is no comparison between data types and case type. Okay, entire screens and every logics, everything will be implemented in case types, but data type is not like that. We just referring, we are using it for only data reference or data entering purpose. That's it. Yeah, type also is nothing but a sections flow actions only. But what is means it is, it can show how many stages in the applications. So what are the processes are in, that are in the applications. By seeing itself, we can able to examine that. So this is the application entire life cycle, like that. Which process? Yeah, every enterprise application will be run on the cache type only. Okay. So if you want to know the cache type, first we need to know the flows, flow actions, logics, and everything, right? Yeah. So this is the default one. So whatever the thing we have default one, we need to delete that thing. Now click on process. And info collect. So our info. Next one, click add one more stage, and this stage is about vehicle info. We have personal vehicle and commercial vehicle, right? Vehicle info, collect information, commercial vehicle, and case close. Resolve the case. Resolve completed.
Uh, can you say what are you picking and like,
See, first of all, I'm adding the steps. So far,
okay.
whatever we created, according to that, I have added steps. Customer info means customer details section, personal vehicle details section, and
There were
commercial.
like multiple options, right? When you instead of that clipboard sign, when you click on that, like there were like four options and you picked one, right? What were the other options?
Where,
When you add a step, yeah,
yeah, this
yeah.
is these are like
This is
we have
different
a
kinds of
number of things. Like we
steps.
have different process. So we
Okay,
need to create a case or user actions. If you go to the user actions, you can see we can add SLAs and we can change the stage and we can create a task and we can resolve the case and we can transfer the assignment. It is routing.
okay. So these
Uh,
are like different kinds of steps, right?
yeah, different kinds of
Okay,
steps and
okay,
each step not each step will have like some kind of functionality. See, in flow we have seen the data page flow shape, right? Here also we can see the
uh-huh.
same data page. Running background is related to uh, agents and run data transform. These are same like these are like some kind of automations. Create a PDF. So examine this is like a flow shapes. Here we are using as a steps. There we can using as a flow shapes.
Okay,
Based on requirement we are going to use and see
okay,
if case close and finally for each and every stage we can set the case status. Resolve the case means the case is resolved, or we can set another like it is pending in status and needs to
okay,
be update. Like that we can give any status and we can also provide validations here and
okay,
goal deadline, and this is like SLS. So on which time, I mean how from when the assignment started, on which time it needs to be resolved. So we need to give the goal deadline time here by using custom SLA. Existing SLA in sense of already whatever the SLAs we have, we are going to call it here. And
okay,
alternate stage. Suppose this is the vehicle insurance case. Once the let's imagine the insurance work has been rejected. Okay, once the
okay,
rejected, it go to the alternate stage. So what are the steps we have provided? It will again go through those steps. So alternate step is like a, suppose if the insurance was rejected, what are the alternate things? Once we need to check all the documents and again we need to send to the insurance customer care people. So they need to again examine the documents and they can process the claim. So that is about the alternate stage. So first one is a happy path and this is the alternative path. Okay, if
okay,
anything happen, if anything fails, okay, so that is
okay.
maybe the alternate stage. So now what we need to do is open each and every process. We need to see.
Sorry, how did you get the stage? Did you double click on the stage, step or stage?
No, I didn't double click on that. Just when you place over here, let me show you. So when
Okay.
you can see the process icon. So this is about the
Oh,
process.
configure process.
See,
Okay,
if we say simply, the first one is like a flow. User details is the flow. In that flow, we have one shape, customer info. Simply
okay,
imagine it. Okay. If
okay.
I we also open the, this is the flow. If I open the flow, I have only one flow action because we have only one step
One
there.
step. Okay, okay. So each stage is like a flow, right?
Yeah, you can also
And then if there is more steps, there will be more boxes or like more boxes. Okay, okay,
so what we need to do is we have already the existing flow actions. So simply we need to call that flow actions here. Details, submit, save. Now, if we open this one, this is the another flow. In the flow, I have two shapes. If you open, you can see. So two shapes. First, turn off draft off. First one, vehicle, personal vehicle. Second one is commercial vehicle. Now we have configured the case type. If we want to create a case now, previously what we have done, we need to go to the flow and open the flow and click on run, right? So, but in enterprise application, we are dealing with case type. So at that time, what we need to do is, you can simply click on create new. Here you can see the vehicle insurance. Okay. What are these customer details? Who created? So once we created a case type, we can see that case type here, vehicle insurance. Don't know why these are created. I don't created these things. Forget about these things. Only what are the case type that we have created, those we can able to see here.
So
So
I have a question here. So we have already created the case tab, right? Why are we creating a new? What are we creating new? If you select new vehicle insurance.
new, new in the sense of we are creating a new work ID, not a case type. New work
Okay.
object or new case ID. That is the
Oh,
thing.
a new object, right? New.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
if you in order to create a case type, only this is the way to create a case type. You cannot able to create a case
Okay.
type like anywhere.
So this is like running that flow to create a object for
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So instead of go to the flow and run the flow, this is the simple way to create a case ID.
Okay. Basically, it's running. Okay.
So here we can all see we are in at first stage. If we also click like here, so first is customer details. We are in currently at customer details. That's why the arrow is showing here, and vehicle info, personal vehicle, commercial vehicle. If submit this, now we are at vehicle info. In vehicle info, we are at personal vehicle. So the first stage is we have completed. Like that, we can track the what where we are. Okay. So resolve completed. We are also setting the case that is resolve completed. Okay. Now, so this is how we can convert our actual flow into the flow into case. Here, no, here we have save and run is there. See, that is what I'm saying. Like in enterprise applications, you cannot do like go to actions, go to run. These are like these things like a not a good things. I mean, everyone think we are still at a kid stage of thing. So, in order to create a case, we need to go to create new vehicle insurance. Okay. See, now, yeah. See, we also creating a case study like that. Or if we have a portals, we can launch the portals here. So, if suppose if you have any portals, currently we have user portal, right? Go to the user portal. I think the case type is also configured for user portal. User portal. Now click on create. You can see the vehicle insurance. You can create with the case ID here. Okay, in enterprise applications, if the application has different portals like manager portal, user portal, if like that, we can log in with that portals and we can create a case from there. Okay. Now,
And what are the other tabs like data model, view, settings, test cases?
settings, we have number of settings. We'll have. I mean, when we create a case type, whether what are the child case types. So whenever we created a child case type, whether the data of a parent data needs to transfer to the child case types and goal and deadline and data instantiation means data transfer and attachments and general we can have the work ID prefix. We can set the work ID prefix instead of v if we want to veh. We can give work ID prefix like this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
See, going forward, we can see all the settings. If
Okay.
even if I say now, you cannot able to understand.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Come on.
So now, what we can discuss?
Will we come back to the? Are we going to come back to the data model and everything?
Hmm?
Um, are we going to talk about the data model in another class? Or
Data model is nothing but already we have dealt with the data model, right? Again,
is
why?
that the same? That's my question.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
See, what
Right.
are
We
the
don't know unless you told us because we are talking about the case type. We are seeing this page for the first time, right? So, okay.
yeah, okay. See, even you are seeing the same UI, right? While we are creating a properties in data designer, and
Okay.
that UI and this UI is same, right?
Yeah. Unless we don't see this, we don't know that it's the same, right? Because we have seen only the other one. That's why I asked what is data model here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So next thing we can discuss like no, it's not up to us. It's decided by the architects and business, right? It's not in our hands, and maybe you didn't get a chance to work on it until you need to get at least minimum 8 to 10 years of experience. So case type is like a very crucial thing. Case type and classes and inheritance. So these are like even it seems to be simple for us, but in enterprise application we cannot able to touch those things without proper relations. But we need to know how these things works, right? So today we'll see about like something vehicle in flow. So in flow action tab, we have uh, action tabs. We have pre-processing and post-processing. So in the pre-processing and post-processing, we can call a data transform or activity. This is for pre-processing and this is for post-processing. Okay. So the activity or data transform, which we call in pre-processing, runs at the flow action screen gets loaded. Okay. So what are the data transform or activity we have given here? These things will load first. Then only the flow actions section will be loaded. Okay. That's why we are calling as pre-processing. So before processing, what are the things that we want to do if you want to write some logics or everything, so we are going with pre-processing. Or if you want to do some processing after the flow action run, that is post processing. So here we can give the again data transform and activity. So simply this is about post processing, uh, like pre-processing and about post processing. Now we can see pre-processing.
What is look for an assignment to perform means here?
Look for as an assignment to perform. Okay. See, this flow action is looking for an assignment to perform. It's like, so how we can say that in example, like so it will wait for the I mean currently we have flow and flow actions, right? I mean in the flow we have assignments, right? So
Yeah.
this flow action looks in the flow to see the assignments, whether the assignments are able will be there or not. So it will looking for the assignments to perform. To perform means to create a case. Okay.
Okay.
See the second option. If not found assignment, so look into the another flow in the on the case. Okay. If not found, look for assignments in the flow of the parent case. So these are like this will check in the current flow. Okay, if not if any one of the assignment is not found, then this option will make to check the assignments in another flow. If
What's an assignment exactly?
assignment is nothing but this only, right? The
Okay.
customer info,
Okay.
the
Okay. Good.
assignment shape.
Okay.
So we'll see about some of the functions in PEGA. So what is exact meaning about the functions? Functions are reusable code available with a definition. Okay, functions can be accessed using expression builder. So where we can see that expression builders, we can see that expression builders in activity. Activity we have anything which countries. See wherever see we can see this gear icon. Okay, so in this gear, so wherever we can see this gear icon in any rule, that means we can able to call the functions. So functions can be called like in activity, and data transform you can call in. We can call in win rules, validation, report rules. So we can call functions mostly so many places. So what is main use of functions? Functions is nothing but we have some predefined functions which is written in Java code. So based on our requirement, we can use the those functions to make our requirement possible. So if you see, you can browse. See, you can have some functions, advanced built-in, CPD, data flow, date time related functions. So we can see. So for example, we can see some of the functions like py remove duplicate. So so if we cannot afraid of using function C, whatever the function that you want, we can search with that name. If anything found, we can see. So currently this is the function, right? Click on plus icon to add. So you don't know how to use this function. You just place our mouse here. Now it will showing the signature, description, usage, and what are the parameters needs to be passed. So what it is telling, function to remove duplicates from page list. It can call to remove duplicate entries from page list. Usage. Function to remove duplicate from page list. It can call to remove duplicate entries from page list. Parameters. Page list name, name of the source page list, and duplicate check property. Enter the name of the property separated by comma. Example, if you want to say entry in page list in duplicate based on two properties, say property 1 and property 2, then param value will be prop 1 comma prop 2. If only one property, say prop 1, then param will be prop 1 only. So it means simply in page list, if you have a duplicate records, if you want to remove those records, we need to use this function. So what are the parameters it asks? Like, so first thing is we need to give a page list name, and then we need to give a duplicate name. So is there any page list name we have? I think page list.
We have some page
Question.
list.
Hmm?
Think we have we I seen page list. We created page list for vehicle. No, 4.5.
I
But
think
we talked about that. We created.
we created the thing here is that is in child class, right? So child class data cannot able to access by the parent. So
Oh,
suppose I'm showing like commercial vehicle is the page list, okay, and comma. So whatever the property that you, if you felt that is a duplicate, you can give like dot property.
okay, so this is like a specific requirement, a specific business requirement to remove, and then we can use this function. Is that what you mean, like in the
Yeah.
activity? Okay.
And then we can also test it whether it is working or not, like that. Okay. So this is these are the how like this we have some inbuilt function, like in order to find a particular property in page list, then we can use like find in page list. We have one function is there for this. So find in page list, and um, if you want to see the count in page list, I mean if you want to see the how many records in the page list, you can give like count in page list. So it will automatically count the how many page list records we have. And if you want to see the length of page list, we can have the function has a length in page list, length of page list. So length count length. Length of page list. So what is it? It returns the length of a property collection. So how many types of records we have, it will give the, so this is the length of the page list. It will give some number. So like that, if you want to set the date format, you want to set any property with current date, so we can use the current date time, current date or current date time or current date time stamp. Okay, like that we have use some functions. And if you want to make some validations like equals ignore case or equals case, so ignore case, not equals, it means these are like when conditions. So if the property is equal to some property, then only I want to perform some action like this. These are like some property based conditions. Okay, so like this we can use the default functions based on our requirement. So this is about the functions. And if we see, mm, so write down the requirement, we'll see about one thing. Working with obj7 functions. Okay, so create a data type customer with properties. During the transaction, whatever the data that we entered into the customer details form, so whatever the data that you entered into the customer details form, that data needs to be stored into the customer details data type.
Stored into the customer details. What? That
Customer details data type.
data type. Okay.
So if you want to say simply now, whatever the data that we are filling in the customer details, everything will be stored into the where backend database table. And what are the data that we have in database, we are just referring. But now the requirement is like, consider this is like a real-time example. Uh, See, when we are opening a bank account, then we need to fill the forms, right? Our personal details, everything we need to fill. So whatever the details that we fill in our customer details, that needs to be stored as a record into the data type. So it means stored as a record into the data type is nothing but uh, that record is storing into the backend database table with your first name, last name, date of birth, and everything. Okay,
So not in the work class, right? We were creating
not
the
in the
record
work class. See, if it
in
is
a.
stored in the work class, we cannot able to see your data because it is stored in the blob.
Oh,
So
okay,
that is
got it.
different. But
Okay.
here is whatever we are making entries that need to be recorded as one record. So if you fill your details and submit, so your record will be inserted into the table. That means you are a first customer to this bank, like that.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Understand the requirement, right?
Yeah, got the
Simple.
difference.
When we fill
Yeah.
our customer details and click on submit, our data will going to stored into the backend database table. That data table is a magic. Is nothing but a data type. Data type
Okay.
means we can have the separate database column, right? I mean database
Okay.
table and columns. So
Yeah. So a child class of the data class. Instead of saving under the work class, we are saving under the data class, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So for that, first thing what we need to do, we need to create a data type. Click add data type. So what is the data type? Country customer advanced. I want to create it in organization data. Organization data class. organization rule set, submit. So add some records. So what are the things we have in customer details? User details, right? So what are all the things that we have? We need to create in that data type. So first one is, in order to identify any one of the record, we need one unique identity, right? That's why we're creating one customer ID. Okay. Now submit and add another. Next one, first name, first name, submit and add another. Next last name, submit and add another. Next one, date of birth. So date of birth is a date only. Date only. Submit and add another. Next one, gender. Submit and add another. Next one, what we have? First name, last name, gender, date of birth, age, phone number, email. Age, age is a integer. Age, phone number. Phone number is also an integer, or we can have any phone. See, remember one thing. Once we created a property with a data type, whether it is text or datetime. Okay, tomorrow if another requirement came, I want to change the property type as to the uh, from text to integer. On the UI itself, you can change. But once we created a property, it will create a column in the database table, right? But the column data type will be won't change. Then what we need to do? We need to create another property and map that column to the property, or we need to delete and create it again. So once the property and data type is fixed and created, we cannot able to change it. So phone number, right? Next one, email. Next one is what we have, state, state, country, city, and zip code. Submit. So these are all we have created. Now what we need to do? We need to create a configure source, because I want to make it as a separate database table. Configure source and select customer ID as the key. Submit. So now what we need to do is, it is not simply like when we submit the form, it will not directly store the values into the data type, because we don't have configured a logic or we didn't configure the mapping for this one, because those are in framework and these are in implementation, right? So what we need to do, we need to map these data class properties into the customer details properties. Okay, so save. Now create an activity. So where the customer details are available in framework, right? So right click, create technical activity. So activity save customer data. Create and open. So here I am creating a page like a temporary page. So what is the class? ICICI data customer. Now what? So what is it mean? Now this temp page will have all the properties which are in the customer data class. Okay, understand?
Okay.
So what are the properties that we have in customer data class? Those are all referring to the temp page. Now we need to map the data, right? Before that, I'm using the parameters instead of making a directly setting the properties. I'm using the parameters. So at the parameters, first one is customer ID. Next one is first name, last name, date of birth, age, uh, phone, email, gender, date of birth is date only, right? String date, time, age as an integer. Phone, we don't have anything like phone. Email also we don't have anything like gender. And then next one is like country, state, city, zip code. So now go to the steps. First of all, I'm creating a page, nothing but a temp page. Page name, temp page. Now again add step and click on choose the method property set. So property property set and step page I'm giving temp page. Now open this and click on dot. So here we have given the step page as temp page, right? So now in this step, whatever the properties that we are taking, those are from temp page only. So it is not like dot property. It is temp page like dot property. See, you can see the what is the class ICICI data customer because this page will referring to that customer data. So customer
So you
ID.
mean you can directly refer the properties here because the step page is the temp page, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So customer ID, we don't have any property in the customer details, right? So customer ID is a unique key. So now we are going to use the function create unique ID or something. Let's check. Create unique. So create unique ID. So what it will happen is for each and every record, it will create a unique identification number and it will save to the record. Okay. Submit. So create unique ID. So for unique ID, that is the thing. Next one is, and we need to map each and every data to the parameters. Okay. Now, whenever we call this activity in the flow post processing flow action, it will prompt for the parameters. There we are mapping the properties. Now at runtime, the parameter will have the value, and the parameter value is mapped to the property name, and the data will be stored into the data type. So dot name dot hash name gender dot age dot date of birth dot phone email email phone number country state state city zip code. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Why we got 12 parameters? I think we have something. Okay, parameters also 12. Okay, now we need to map the parameters. For first name, what is the parameter? Param dot first name. Okay, dot, sorry, not dot. Param dot last name. Param dot gender. Param dot age. Param dot date of birth. Param dot email. Param dot phone number. Param dot country. Param dot state. State. Sorry, this is city. Param dot city. Next, param dot zip code. Now we have mapped all the parameters. Now once our mapping is done, what we need to do is we need to, so mapping is done, properties are available, but what the next? We need to save the data, right? Without saving, how we can able to do it? So now obj save. So on which page we need to save? On temp page, because we are referring to the temp page. So now once the data is available in temp page, and it will save the data to the temp page. Once data is saved in temp page, it means temp page is referring to the this class, this customer data class. So from temp page, the data will be stored into the customer data class. After data is and saved, we need to remove the page, because if we didn't remove any pages, whatever we created using activities, those are stored in the clipboard, and it will impact the memory issue. I mean, CPU issues, and it will cause it will increase the memory size of the clipboard. Okay, so clipboard may be affected. So that's why whatever the temporary pages that we created, once our usage was done, we need to remove the pages. So for that, we can use page remove. Page remove. So what is the page that I want to remove? Template.
Template.
So, here we need to write a meaningful description to make understandable to the other developers. Create a template referring to data class assigned param values to the data class properties and saving the page data input table. Next one, removing the page. So like this, we need to provide a description, save. So now what we need to do? So we have created an activity. Now we need to call this activity on customer details flow action. So where is the customer details flow action? So this is the customer details flow action. Customer details flow action. Save as to new rule set version. Create and open. Now go to actions. So when we want to save the data, after entering only, right? So after entering means it is a post processing. So go to post processing here, call the activity, save customer data. Now it will prompt for the parameters. So now what we need to do here is we need to map the properties. Okay. If you don't know the exact thing, we can we need to map same. Okay, we don't we need to map same properties. Now customer ID we can ignore because customer ID we have used the function to generate unique ID, right? So that we can remove. Now for first name, what is the property? Dot. You can see it here. Okay, so we need to give exact thing. First name. Next one is last name. Dot last name and dot date of birth dot age dot phone number dot email dot gender dot country dot state dot city dot zip code. So now we have mapped the properties. Save, check in, add post activity. Now create a case, create vehicle insurance. Now enter the data. So now we have entered the data, right? So click on tracer before we need to click on submit. Open the tracer. Now submit. So I need to check uncheck all these OTB rules. I think we need to pass. Our data will already get. So for our rule sets, ICICI. So activity runs. So step begin and step two we have given the parameters, right? Let's check the property and go to the parameter page. So in the parameter check the data is mapped or not. Action. So gender male, city Chennai, and email. If you want to see, you can search for the so, FN, right? So FN it is Norwich. So the parameters will have the value. Now what we need to do is go to the data type and check the record is entered or not. Refresh. The record is entered. It is generated as some unique ID, zip code, city, state, country, email, phone number, age, mail, date of birth, last name, first name. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to see the yeah, yeah, and customer details is a data type and it has separate database table, right? We can also see whether the data is entered or not. Let me show you. So what is the table name? It will created ICICI data customer, right? So the table name should be PR underscore ICICI underscore data customer underscore ICICI data customer. So we the records. So we have one record is inserted. Customer ID, zip code, city, country, state, email, phone number, age, gender, date of birth. Okay, last name, first name, and these are some OTP like PX commit, date, time create, and these are all OTP properties. So okay, clear about the requirement, and do you have any doubts?
Mm.
Okay,
Uh, okay, looks good.
okay, then bye.
Okay, thanks. Have a good day.